What's going on, Jerome's? So after the Minnesota Vikings drafted J.J. McCarthy, first you buy the house, then you buy the insurance, and the Vikings certainly should add to the offensive line. And they've done that to a degree as they drafted Oklahoma tackle Walter Rouse in the 6th round. And they also added a 7th round interior offensive lineman, Michael Jurgens, the pride of Wake Forest. It puts the lotion on his skin or else it gets the hose again. It's a deep reference. Anyways, but the Vikings. So I feel like we have the new Matt Burke / John Sullivan because the last center from Wake Forest seemed to work out pretty damn good. Now, Jurgens didn't get some of the hyper publicity as some of the other interior offensive linemen in this class, but he is rock solid, and even though he's a little bit older, I feel like, so Kwesi went young in the first round, 21-year-olds with McCarthy and Turner, and then he just like, get me the oldest corner and 2 offensive linemen possible, and also the kicker, because why not? That's what we're going to do. So Sylvia agrees. But let's talk about Michael Jurgens today. Background, 23 years young, a 6'5", 307, former 3-star recruit from Damascus, Maryland. Now, since he's from Damascus, he could get a place in Lebanon Hills in Eagan, which is close to the facility. There you go. But 6 seasons at Wake Forest, a 3-time team captain, 2-year starter at center. In 2023, he moved to left guard, and frankly, he had his best season as a collegiate. An 86.4 PFF run blocking grade, efficient in pass protection as well. 7 pressures and 1 sack, only 5 penalties in 2023. Combine, solid in the jumps, 32-inch vert, 8-foot 11-inch broad, good in agility, as well as Kwesi does like the 10-yard split, and he was okay there. And I know people are going to poo-poo. It's like, well, his 40-yard dash sucks. If your interior offensive lineman, any lineman, is running in a straight line for 40 yards, something either really good or really bad happens. So it really doesn't matter. Scouting report, Lance Zierlein, NFL.com. I can't read that. I need to zoom in and enhance. Gosh darn it. That means I'm just getting old. Hold on. Look at me. I'm the captain now. All right, so Lance Zierlein, NFL.com, said, solid 3-year starter at center guard, but will need to stick at center as his primary position. Jurgens uses accurate hands and consistent footwork to fit blocks with good centering, but he doesn't have the core strength needed to displace opponents or keep from being pulled and shoved off balance by a strong nose tackle. Heard that before. He's fairly average as an athlete, but he does see the field well in pass protection and steadies the gaps around him. Jurgens' lack of functional power and contact balance could hurt his chances as a late-round pick or priority free agent. Now, that seems a little bit harsh from Lance Zierlein, but there's a sect that is believing in Michael Jurgens. So Gridiron Grading. So every year they do a really interesting chart. A final look at the 2024 interior offensive line class by age-adjusted production and athleticism. 2021 to 2023 classes tossed in there for reference. And you look at takeaways. If you want an interior offensive line, it needs to be from about 10 guys in the top right quad. Cooper Beebe went to the Cowboys, day 1 starter. Also by Matt Lee and Michael Jurgens stock. So, you see that little guy? Don't worry about that little guy. And also our guy Matt Lee from Miami. That's UB in the U. Went a couple picks after Jurgens. Who did he go to? Matt Lee. Went to the Bengals. That's a good pickup for them. But yeah, see Jurgens all up in there with our guy Zach Frazier. Ed Ingram is on the bottom section of that quadrant looking good. So there you go. JPJ, Dickerson, Linderbaum in there. So something that's certainly intriguing. And also in terms of superlatives, so extensive college experience, definitely was on the Van Wilder plan at Wake Forest. Does have guard center flexibility. He was a 2-year starter at guard before, 2-year starter at center before moving to guard last year. Good hands, high football IQ, a great communicator at the line of scrimmage. That center experience comes in. Also, just by glancing at his film in terms of taking on games, so stunts and twists and whatnot. He is really good at communicating at those around him. Obviously, that was experience at center, but also when he moved to guard, communicating with the tackle and center makes a lot of sense. Also, fast hands, mature footwork in terms of being a technician. He certainly is up there. Also gets out there and does find work. He's never stagnant, and also is highly coachable, high football IQ, like we mentioned. So in terms of the Vikings offensive line depth, this is what it is right meow. And the Vikings So they have 17 spots open on the 90-man roster, so they could add a couple UDFAs. They could add a couple of veterans, specifically along the offensive line. But I do think that Jurgens will be in the mix with Feeney, Bird, Robinson in terms of interior offensive line depth. I think as of right now, you could probably confidently say that as of right now, you could probably confidently say that Blake Brandel is going to be starting at one of the guard spots, likely with Ed Ingram at the other one. But I do think that Jurgens, could get some really good experience here in camp as well as in preseason, and then maybe he wins the backup center spot. Maybe he becomes the new Austin Schlutman with some upside. And when the Vikings have a decision to make with Bradbury, coming up as his contract is starting to roll along he's starting to hit 30. I mean, maybe Jurgens does take over down the line at center or at one of the interior offensive line spots. But overall, like in terms of 7th round value, I think that Jurgens is fantastic in this spot, and the Vikings, you definitely want to see them add to the offensive line. I think Rouse is a tackle only type guy. I don't think he plays with enough leverage to kick inside. But with Jurgens, you get yourself a guy that can back up 3 spots, and potentially you have your center of the future in the building in Michael Jurgens. But your thought? Oh, also no relation to Cam Jurgens. We looked. But your thoughts are thoughts. Vikings draft center / guard Michael Jurgens out of Wake Forest in the 7th round. Let us know your thoughts and our thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But till next time, Skull Production Value.